Excellent connection. Avast, ye swabs.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Commodore.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West.
Right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Hello there, you lucky devils. You better bet your bippies he reads everything. I am Professor Thomas Henry Horan. This is Saturday, January 6th. Also known as Hillary's or Joe's insurrection. Celebrate as you see fit. That's not the subject of today's stream. Although I think we're going to see more and more and more of the evidence that was withheld coming out. It's already abundantly clear the whole thing was staged by the FBI. The whole thing was staged by the FBI and the Marshal of the Senate and the Marshal of the House. The whole thing was staged. And poor, what's her name? You see what I mean? What was her name? The only fatality. Gunned down. And she used to be one of the people who guarded the Capitol. Remember? Ashley Babbitt. This is not Insurrection Day. This is Ashley Babbitt Memorial Day, which I just now made up, and I wish I'd thought of 5 minutes ago, because I would have had something prepared. This is the third anniversary of the assassination of Ashley Babbitt. 118 dropped frames. This is just a hello stream. Going to talk about the news. Talk about my sciatica. What's the new cure for arthritis? You attach metal clips to your bippies and you ground them in the earth and your arthritis pain goes away. Hi, Creepy Crawl. Hi, Scott. Thank you, Creepy Crawl. Once again, you can do either thing. You can click join here on YouTube and get access to the members only live streams and videos on YouTube, on this YouTube channel, or you can click the other link and subscribe to the premium channel. Same price, but you get a lot more goodies. That's up to you. Hi, Sven. Not only that, you know about his wife, right? You know about the lieutenant's wife, right? Hi, Anthony. Yeah, we talked about that, but thanks, no. Did I talk about it enough? Is that what I forgot to talk about the other day? Thank you for reminding me. Not only were Donna Lass's remains finally identified, but they were found very, very near another victim. You know that, right? Yeah, we talked about that. It's okay. We can talk about it again. Happy Entrapment Day, yeah. Happy phony insurrection. They weren't even armed. It's this phony staged. It's like the raid on Spawn Ranch, except nobody was hurt on the raid on Spawn Ranch. And you can see him track her until she appears in that window and then hit her. He was aiming for her heart. But she had trouble climbing up through the window, so he ended up aiming too high. He was anticipating where her heart would be as she came up, as she reached maximum elevation above the sill of that broken window. And she doesn't quite get up there. She's just a little bitty thing. And he hits her in the shoulder, but she bleeds out anyway. Everybody panics and runs. Well, Anthony, you know she was one of the, used to be a Capitol Guard. When she was in the military, she was assigned to the Capitol Guard. They knew she would be there. They knew this is a big deal. She was planning to meet a bunch of people there. So they knew, Capitol Police, everybody, FBI, everybody knew she would be there. And that cop comes out of that back room just in time to draw a bead on her, track her back and forth, and shoot her. And the whole fake thing is over. And she dies. Okay, Sticky Marks, that's fine. Yeah, I know your eyes are worse than mine. I know that. I appreciate everything you've done so far, and whatever I get, I'm grateful for. From any of you bastards. Whatever crumbs you magnificent bastards throw me, I am grateful for, and I am. That's right, left his service weapon in the bathroom. Yeah, she was assigned to the Capitol Guard. She was part of the whole Capitol Guard network, security web or whatever. She was she worked at Capitol Guard. Or, not out there in uniform, but... Well, she wasn't committing a crime when she got shot. I mean, coming through that locked door, that was technically whatever. But he didn't just fire into the crowd. You see him track her, and then he gets a clear shot. And he takes it as soon as he gets it. He doesn't say anything. He just shoots her. And he puts his weapon away. He doesn't even point the gun at anybody else. Like, he's not in fear for his life. He comes up that hallway, sneaking in, and he keeps peeking around that corner. Those people don't have any weapons. Of course, he's being careful. And then he just tracks her, shoots her. The whole thing's over. But Sven, you know that the crowd there were busloads of paid agitators. The chief of the Capitol Police said so that day. It's a bunch of paid agitators. A whole bunch of paid FBI plants. A whole bunch of them. So, what am I talking about today? Remember this? Remember that time His Holiness John Paul II blessed Epstein and Ghislaine in camera, in chambers, in a private audience? Remember that? Remember this? You know what's come out about the highest echelons of the church, including His current holiness, right? Remember that time Jeffrey Epstein was hanging out with Piglet at Walt Disney World? Remember that? What was JonBenet's favorite? Was she Winnie the Pooh? Was she Minnie Mouse? What was JonBenet's favorite Disney character? I forgot. It doesn't matter. Just remember two words. Epstein, Piglet. Epstein, Piglet. Just remember that. We're going to see something in a minute. In fact, let's just watch it now. You never saw which photo before? Oh, this one? Yeah, nobody saw it. Somebody leaked this. This was when they raided Epstein's mansion. One of those times. This is one of the pictures. They're Episcopalian officially. You know that, right? Well, he's supposedly Jewish. His parents were Jewish. She's Episcopalian. What's a Jew and a Church of England Jew, crypto Jew? What's a Jew and a crypto Jew getting blessings from the Pope? When Epstein's involved in international finance, money laundering, and the Pope's banker is the president of Propaganda Due, or what, High Grand Caliph, or whatever the fuck it is, Propaganda Due, and they have a bank. It's the Vatican Bank. And it's run by a man named Frank Denaro, and Frank Denaro Jr. just recently retired from the money laundering department at Citibank. Carl Denaro's first cousin on his father's side. Used to work for Carl Denaro's stepfather at Citibank, and then he replaced Carl Denaro's stepfather as head of money laundering. Who's the social services boss? Never saw Epstein wearing a suit and tie. Yeah, that's a good point. Never saw Epstein wear a suit and tie. That is a good point. I don't know if it's a blessing, because in the real church, you got to do it like this. You got to cross your thumb and your third finger like this. So you've got, and it goes like this. So this spells out Christos, and here's the cross, and here's a whole bunch of other things. All right. This is the Christian gang sign I'm flashing right here, and I'm not kidding. It was a gang sign back when Christianity was an underground movement. Underground revolutionary shadow government. But that's a different episode. Yeah, this was probably, because she looks pretty young still. And of course, John Paul II still looks pretty alive. I hadn't thought about it like that. He's looking alive there, that's for sure. Looking alive and well. 2005. Okay, so this picture's it could be 20 years old at least. Oh, so Sticky Marsh, you're talking about one of these women I'm talking about. Oprah's going to talk about him here in just a second. I'm not going to play the whole... Maybe I will play... No, I'm not going to play the whole clip. I can't play the whole clip. I can't play... It raises far more questions than it answers. The first half of this clip, which is it's a 1-minute clip from her show. Let me see what's going on here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Quit that. Okay. Okay. My feed. Should I go through these? Okay, let me beat up on people who deserve it for a change, and then I'll come back to Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers at the end of the episode, as some of you call them. This is interesting. Prince Andrew's daughter visits him after Jeffrey Epstein doc dump. Maybe it's not interesting. Prince Andrew's daughter, Princess Beatrice, visits him after Jeffrey Epstein doc dump. So he's the current Duke of York. Her parents have been divorced for 30 years. No, for years. I've been divorced for a good 30 years. A very good 30 years. But they still live together in the 30-room mansion. Ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. All I'm saying is Jeffrey Epstein is dead and Virginia Giuffre is all over my television. That's all I'm saying. Ghislaine Maxwell is still alive. The only one who's dead is Jeffrey. Okay, thieves stole computers from offices of Epstein's ex-crisis PR guru. Remember crisis PR guru Howard Rubenstein Associates, where Manny Grossman's father, Jim Grossman, retired from. He spent the last 30 years of his career there. Let's see which. This was a new headline that popped up right before showtime. Michael Citrick of A-list global crisis PR firm Citrick & Company. So Rubenstein Associates wasn't representing Epstein after Manny's dad retired, after all. They were representing Epstein when Manny's dad worked there. But after Manny's dad retired, they no longer worked for him. This is Citrick & Company. Let's see who they are. That's a very interesting coincidence. Strategic Communications. Founded 1989. The Spin Doctor. Before that, because they were interviewed, Howard Rubenstein himself was quoted, right? Somebody at Rubenstein Associates. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Let's get back to the story. The day before unsealed docs were released, these broke into the LA offices of Citrick & Company on January 2nd, but batted down any connection. There can't be any connection because it makes no sense. Oh, well, you see how it can't, and we hear this every night on CNN and MSNBC, you name it. Well, that doesn't make any sense, so therefore it's not true. Here's the guy who wrote that script. Mr. Citrick. The thieves only stole computers that were used by employees in the accounts payable. Other companies' offices were also broken. Other companies' offices in the building were also broken into. Computers aren't worth that much money. Why would somebody break in and steal a couple of computers? If the thieves were after anything related to Epstein or anyone else, how can anyone explain why my office was not broken into, he said, adding that there weren't any documents at his office connected to Epstein. Well, that kind of proves why they didn't break into your office, because they knew what they were looking for, right? I think he did it. I think he hired somebody to do it as a publicity stunt. This is another synthetic conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theorists broke into our offices. Right. Well, it wasn't me because I had no idea. He had left Rubenstein Associates and gone over to Citric. Citric said he fired Epstein as a client roughly a year before his company sued the child sex offender in 2014 to recoup over $71,000 in unpaid bills. The crisis PR maven said he began working with the child sex abuser in 2011. Manny's dad retired in 2011 in the wake of a Post story detailing Epstein's friendship with Prince Andrew. Huh. Cover your eyes for a minute. I'm going to look something up. When did he retire? He retired in 2012. Well, he retired in 2012. Huh. Epstein fires Rubenstein Associates. Manny's dad retires. That's interesting. I know. Manny's dad he did PR work for the U.S. Federal Southern District of New York. That's very interesting, as we shall see tomorrow. Or starting tomorrow. Well. Just another meaningless coincidence. Why aren't they blaming it on right-wing conspiracy theorists? Now, we know this guy's a crisis manager, so we know that whatever story he tells us about this burglary and theft of computers, we know he's managing a crisis. We know that. We know it's much worse than he's telling us. That's his job. His job is to make things seem like, all Epstein did was he used to watch Paulina Poroskova movies. That's not a crime. According to one of these recently released documents, one of his victims feared talking to police over threats she heard pedophile make to others. You're going to die. Around 16 or 17 when she first met Epstein, that sounds like a reliable witness, was asked about her 2005 statement to Palm Beach police in which she admitted she didn't feel safe speaking about the financier because she had overheard him tell others things like, you're going to die, you're going to break your legs. A schoolmate persuaded her to go to Epstein's Palm Beach mansion to give him massages for money. These girls were getting paid, and they were bringing their friends in. Then one of his alleged victims, I'm not going to mention her name, begged Epstein and his staff for help applying to the Fashion Institute of Technology. Fashion Institute of Technology. New York City. Yeah, it's SUNY. That's what I thought. You know who else went to the Fashion Institute of Technology? They have a sports team. They're a powerhouse. They're a powerhouse in tiddlywinks and badminton. Founded 1944. Norma Kamali, Calvin Klein, Michael Kors, Scott Salvatore, and Joel Schumacher. I know we've talked about this before. We have talked about this school before. I know we've talked about it before. Huh. FBI captures 3 January 6th fugitives at Florida Ranch on the 3rd anniversary of the Capitol attack. I'm breathless. How about you? Gosh, what were the odds that they were going to make a big splash today? The FBI was going to make a big splash today. In Groveland, Florida, around Tampa Bay, Jonathan Daniel Pollock, Olivia Michelle Pollock, and Joseph Daniel Hutchinson III. Family owned a gun shop, helping breach a barricade and assaulting officers, grabbing one by the waist and pulling the officer down the stairs, punching another in the face, and stealing another officer's police shield. The October Revolution pales in comparison. Insurgency. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your insurgents. J. Edgar Hoover would be proud. I don't know how much of this story is true, but I know a lot of it is true. Let's listen to this story. And this will really get me kicked off Facebook. Here we go. Turn this down.
A little blurb update today on Epstein.
Or off
it was
YouTube.
showing a photo of him at Disney. He's sitting down at the table. Piglets behind him. It's him and another guy sitting down, and this guy's holding this girl, like by her arms like this. That same girl is in another photo with Epstein. They're on the plane. She's like she's sleeping. She's laying down, and he's holding her like this. Then, come to find out, Disney sent kids to his island for snorkeling trips for like 9 years.
Is that true? Does anybody know if that's true? Here's Newsweek. Here's the lawyer's defense. There's no evidence that those who visited Epstein's island or flew on his private jet were engaged in any illegal activity. That's the mob lawyer's defense. No evidence has been presented in court yet. A snorkel stop at Little St. James Island. I'll bet this link doesn't work. Oh, there it is. Be whisked away aboard the Captain. Is this doesn't look like a Disney quality website. Is it? Disney Cruise Line. You think they do better? This looks like a website from 1998, 1999. We're going to code like it's 1999. This was like, guess what they've added to HTML? Bold. Facebook still doesn't have bold or italic. Here it is. Okay, hold on. I found it once. I'll find it again. Captain Nautica's snorkeling expedition. Be whisked away aboard the captain's RIB powerboat. Afterward, make your way to your second snorkel stop, Little St. James Island. Well, what do you know about that? Crazy conspiracy theory. Oh, I didn't think it looked like a Disney. This is supposedly a fake website. The island as well as another location were included in the description of a third-party tour so that participants could identify the areas where snorkeling would be available, a statement from Disney read. So they are affiliated with Disney. Yeah, you know what? That sounds a whole lot less suspicious. Yeah, Little St. James Island had a coral reef and we stopped there and go snorkeling. But there was like a hut there. No, it's like, well, that wasn't us. That was a third-party subcontractor that we hire to shield us from these kind of legal liability. So we have no legal liability. Rule number 1, excuses are confessions. Innocent people don't need excuses. Guilty people need excuses. Excuses are confessions. Yeah, it's real. It's just Disney saying that's a third party. You allow them to use your logo and stuff. Yeah, this actually sounds more fishy than if Disney admitted that they used to stop there, but we didn't use the bathrooms or anything. We never got out of the boat. Never get out of the boat. Oh, this is Magical Kingdoms. Okay. Okay, fine. It wasn't Disney, but this, the Disney thing sounded a little hard to believe. That Disney would be tangled up in something like that. Disney Cruise Line, St. Thomas and St. John excursions. Yeah, these are the third-party excursions that you can go on, right? Disney Cruise Line, St. Thomas and St. John excursions. So this isn't really debunked. There's a technicality. A hair has been split. A hair of the mouse has been successfully split here. Well, that's a third party. How is this less fishy? How is this? We don't officially have anything to do with that. Once you get off the boat, you're not our problem anymore. Hi, Gospel. Hi, Ivana. Eight concurrent viewers. I don't care. I don't care if any of you people are watching or not. I need to check the other thing. I need to check the other chat. Well, Guthrie, remember where they went to in Florida? Oh, that's right. The ones about the girls, Donna DeMasi and Joanne Lamino, if they had been to the beach in Florida. Oh, there's plenty of girls who will jump in the thing, but that's not an excuse for committing a crime, although the crime here seems to be extortion, blackmail, coercion. But to a sociopath like Epstein, in his own mind, he might, well, there's a victim, there's no victim here. But it's not him who's grooming the girls. It's Ghislaine, and before Ghislaine, it's Eva. Yeah, it's not that the Disney cruise ship itself drops anchor at Little St. James. These are add-ons, these are excursions you can purchase from your Disney Cruise Line agent. But well, I think that hits the nail right on the head. They shield, that's why they do, that's how they shield themselves. That's how they manage crises like these. Oh, well, that's a third party that we're in bed with, but it's a third party. Okay. You saw me fact check that one live. Here's another African-American actor talking about the Hollywood Mafia. And by Mafia, the Hollywood Velvet Mafia.
I got offered some parts that I said, I can't do that. Even though it's acting, and then it would start messing with your mind. Why would they offer me a part like that? What do you want me to be a woman for? When you got black women actresses who are funny in Hollywood, been out there trying to make it, and you want to give me a part like that?
So they try to put you in a dress?
Yeah. And it was kind of like, you're going to bite this bullet and then you in. Well, you got the wrong nigga.
Have you have to things that you've seen others tend to lose themselves in this game?
I know some people now who would do anything to be famous. I know some people that are in the famous that would do anything to take it up another level. I know some people in Hollywood that are financially comfortable that would do anything to take it up a notch.
Cat Williams has been saying the same thing. There's this thing. You have to go, if you want to be you want to be a big star in Hollywood and you're black, you have to do a drag movie. You have to. Otherwise, you're out. You don't get the big deals. And it's the ones like Martin Lawrence and them who are telling them. It's not their agents or the studio executives. This guy, Cat Williams has been saying that for a long time. Presidential Medal of Freedom, every single one of these people is on Epstein. There's no narration. Let me zoom in on this. I don't know who all of them are. Obviously, that's Tom Hanks and Bill Gates, and this is Meryl Streep, right? This is She Used to Sing, Barbara Streisand. There's Steven Spielberg. Here's Oprah Winfrey. And every single one of those people show up on the flight logs. Oprah flew her own, well, she didn't fly it. Oprah's own plane flew there at least 11 times that we know of, in her own private plane. Oh, I'm going to check that thing about the girls missing from her school. Oh, this person brings up a point. Remember Oprah Winfrey crucifying Michael Jackson? Now she's sticking up, she's been to, covering up for Epstein. Goes to his island. Well, just keep your head down, Sticky Marks, and stop blabbing everything on my YouTube video chats. Take a page from Manny's book, Disappear. Always start your car with the remote. There was this book. It was called First Aid for Hypochondriacs. It came out in the 80s. It was hilarious. And one of them, they had a chapter on schizophrenia. So, how to know if you have multiple personalities is basically, it had schizophrenia mixed up with multiple personality disorder. So it's leave little traps for yourself around the house. Put salt in the milk, or, leave little booby traps. And then step 2, check and see if anybody's been leaving little traps around the house. Has someone been putting salt in the milk? It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Remember this Adam Perry Lang, who was arrested at Jimmy Kimmel's house way back in, this actually happened way back in the day. He worked for Epstein between 1999 and 2003. This story, which is dated 2020, he's fully cooperating. He was arrested at Jimmy Kimmel's house after calling the cops and threatening to blow up Jimmy Kimmel's house and himself and a bunch of cops. It was like an 8-hour standoff. Well, you know what happened to him, right? He opened a famous restaurant in London with Jamie Oliver in 2010. And he's cooperating with the FBI. How could he be cooperating with the FBI if he didn't know anything? The FBI doesn't seek the cooperation of people who don't know anything. Those people are busy. Believe me, they're busy. They're still working on cases for me being harassed as a union organizer. Now, when was he arrested? Andrew Perry Lang, Adam Perry Lang, Adam Perry Lang. Adam Perry Lang. Arrested. Jimmy Kimmel's house. January of 2019. January of 2019. After cooperating fully with the FBI. So where is he now? I thought he was just walked. Where is he now? Adam Perry Lang. Where's he at now? Is he in jail? The APL Steakhouse Hollywood. But where is he? His specialty is steaks, ribs, chops. He's not vegan. I love cooking and feeding people. Yeah, I don't want to beat that to death with a stick yet. Let's move on. Bill Clinton was close to Epstein. Other people kissed Epstein's ass. Oh, this is a real painting of Clinton in a dress that was hanging in. This painting actually did hang in Epstein's New York townhouse or whatever, apartment, penthouse. I thought this was a crazy right-wing conspiracy theory. Because I'm thinking, this looks like a black velvet painting. Bob Ross could have painted this painting. Katrina Ryan Clyde? Really? No, maybe that's the photo. Nothing funny was going on. You don't worry your pretty little heads trying to dream up all the weird things that were happening because he just went to Lolita Island all those times for ice cream. He took Webb Hubbell's grandchildren with him. Well, I'll be dogged. Now, I'm not going to... I'll just play you this clip. But there's a longer clip that opens... that lets more toothpaste out of the tube than puts it back in. But I'm just going to play you this clip on this lady's feed.
I have said for years, if the abuser is any good, you won't even know it's happened. You will be in it and you won't even know it's happened. And if the abuser is any good, he or she is going to make you feel like you're part of it. This is what so many people don't understand.
That you're part of it. We will listen to we'll listen to this tomorrow. She's right. The abuser, if they're skilled, will make you feel like you're a part of what's going on, not a victim that's outside. You're inside. High-end sex ring in Boston and D.C. areas was honeypot scheme by Russia, China, South Korea, and Israel to ensnare U.S. officials, intelligence experts believe. I don't know. I haven't had time to fact check this one. Perhaps one of you would care to fact.
Authorities say they broke up a high-end brothel network. They say the clients were among some of the richest and most powerful people in the country. According to investigators, the brothel operated out of the Boston area.
This just looks like somebody's homemade
suburbs. The brothels were promoted online. Officials say after their personal information
Does Manny have a blonde wig?
Clients would be offered sex services, some costing more than $600 an hour.
These websites
cheaper than a lawyer, cheaper than a psychiatrist
across the United States.
Oh, okay.
For sex trafficking and a commercial sex ring.
I take back what I said.
Investigators say the ringleader, one of the 3 people now charged in the case, was seen delivering women and exchanging cash. Officials have not released any of the clients' names, but described them as elected officials, executives, doctors, and attorneys. The federal authorities say
all the people who got Junlin body parts from Luca Magnotta were all very powerful politicians and lawyers. They were all... Is it called the Conservative Party in Canada? They were all rightish wing lawyers, doctors, and lots of politicians. And a lot of them had dated. Luca had gone with them to the Bahamas, had gone with them to Las Vegas. They had dated Luca, professionally. On a lighter note, this kid's very first, he hits a hole-in-one. Spoiler alert. Let me try again. Part 3.
Oh. Holy smokes, AJ.
Oh, Dad. Right in!
This is better than it looks. It's better than this program.
Guys, I'm just on lunch getting ready to work a New Year's Eve gig here, but I saw Dom's tweet, and then I saw Frazzle Drip, and I wanted to refresh my memory. I remember it was like Hillary Clinton sitting on a bed and some drawings describing what these police officers witnessed. So they get Anthony Weiner's laptop. 12 officers see it. 9 of them are dead, all by suicide. So that's very strange, but it could be explained. So I go and I look at this picture. They flash a picture with all the names of the police officers who apparently committed suicide. So I'm like, I'm just going to look at a few of these names and just search them and see how they died, if it was a really suspicious suicide. And then I was struck by the fact that, there's some older alpha male cops in this. Not generally the demographic you'd think are, having crises of conscience and committing suicide. Generally older alpha males. So there's this guy, Calabrese. And I look at him and I'm like, you're not committing suicide. So I take him as the most unlikely. I look into the suicide, and the first story that comes up is 2 officers commit suicide within 24 fucking hours. So I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that the other officer that committed suicide within this 24-hour window was also one of the witnesses to the Anthony Weiner laptop. Oh yes, it's the deputy police chief. It was another senior high-level NYPDer committing suicide within 24 hours of another older alpha male who's quite unlikely to commit suicide. So it's the craziest shit ever, guys. It's not just, people misrepresenting the facts. It's fucking crazy as shit. Guys, I'm just on lunch getting ready to work a New Year's.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. 9 out of 12. 9 out of 12. Yeah, Creepy Crawl, that's how I found out about it. Mainly. Yes. Thank you for the links. You didn't get banned? The horrible things they said about me? Oh, I believe it. Were any of them witty? I said nice things. Manny put up an episode yesterday. I said, very nice camera work, Manny. Nice camera, nice gimbal, and nice job running it. It looks nice. He kept people in frame. It was very good work. That's all I said, and then I started doing my show. Because that stream started, it wasn't even a live stream. Picton, Russell Williams, Bernardo, Homoka, a lot of people. A lot of people. Yeah, that whole thing was part of this. I don't think he murdered June Lin. I think he just helped tamper with the crime scene and help get rid of the body. I don't think he murdered him at all. And he was not a porn star. Once again, there's a totally fake story about Luca Magnotta. Then there's this documentary about the internet vigilantes who caught him. That gets even more interesting. Those people are even more interesting than Luca Magnotta. I think we're caught up with where we were yesterday. Okay. Yeah, so Pat McAfee now, here's the story. Pat McAfee used to be a punter in the Not For Long League. He started a podcast. He's been fired from everywhere, right? Where's he been fired from? But they're trying out this whole, they want, the sports world, the sports industry wants an Alex Jones to bring in viewers. So ESPN tried him out. He's been everywhere. Now he's accusing Norby Williamson of trying to sabotage his show. Here's how you get fired. And here's how you get fired from ESPN. He's been fired from everywhere. The network even covered up for this whole spat thing, and he turns around and stabs Williamson in the back. Although Williamson might deserve it. I don't know, and I don't care. I don't work at ESPN. Aaron made a dumb and factually inaccurate joke about Jimmy Kimmel. That's all they said about it. Because they want this feud to catch fire and bring in ratings. Hi, Cooper. The scoop? You can have the scoop. The scoop on what? I'm behind on the chat. Hold on. I'm just sitting back and enjoying the dumpster fire myself. Well, Sticky Marks, the modern politicians learned everything from the mafia. The CIA, they learned a lot from the mafia. Yeah, Warnos was saying they're making money off the... That's right. They're also using it with, like, Ann Rule. Right. Well, you talk about a desert flower. You talk. Has anybody ever dug any holes in her back garden? The Luca Magnotta documentary, people? Yeah. Yeah. I need to... one of these days I'll talk to... Is it messing up for you guys? Got a few dropped frames. So we had a painting of George W. Bush. Hi, Steves. Are you being seen? Yes, you are not shadow banned. Oh, Manny's insane. Manny is certifiably crazy. And I mean that in all sincerity. He has these meltdowns. He's fragile. He's very fragile. But his father was one of these Operation Mockingbird spooks. The fake news, like the whole setting up the fake news industry by infiltrating all the major media outlets with your own people. Manny's dad was a big... He worked at Consumer Reports. He worked in the Caribbean when Jim and Darlene were there, messing around with the Virgin Islands View, which was bought by Kelsey Grammer's father, who was assassinated in post-MLK assassination riots in the Virgin Islands. Manny's mom was born in the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, right? His grandparents had an island. The family owns a plantation, a little plantation. Manny's been there. Him and his sister went there when they were little kids. I don't know if it was Little Saint, but they right there in the U.S. Virgin Islands, right off the coast of Puerto Rico. It's been stuttering. Oh, yeah, but the thing is, Manny's whole YouTube channel, he started talking about all the things I've been talking about, and one day he snapped and tore his channel down, and he came back, and he's all, Maureen Terry was full of shit, there is no conspiracy, blah, 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 blah. But when you find out who his dad was, and his dad worked at Rubenstein Associates when they represented, among other people, Jeffrey Epstein. And then Epstein and Rubenstein parted ways, and then Manny's dad retired. And his dad represented all the big, like, fire department union, police union. He did PR, crisis management at Rubenstein, like we talked about. Not shit stick, citric. Well, this thing's messing up. What I need to do is reset the thing. Don't worry about it. I'm done. I'm done. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Time. But Manny's very specific. His dad's one of these people I've been talking about, creating the whole fake news industry. Wait till you see what everything his dad was involved in. I mean, his dad's like 80 now, and Manny might not know all of it. I made a joke one day on my website, my old website that he was on. And I said something about Manny had a meltdown last night on his YouTube. And Manny went on the next day, goes, I'll show you. I'll show you meltdown. And he burned down his whole YouTube channel. He burned down his paid, he had a paid site, said it had 500 subscribers. He burned the whole thing down. Said he was never going to be on YouTube again. But he'll do that. He'll freak out. He does freakouts, whether they're fake or not. We don't think they're fake. But he was doing really amazing episodes. Cooper, what was it you did the scoop? I'll give you the credit. I have no problem with that. I don't give people credit unless they tell me they want credit. Yeah, it's starting to stutter. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Thank you very much. Good night. God bless. Spay and neuter your cannibals. And stay plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast. I'm looking for the closing theme. Oh, remember Piglet, JonBenet. Piglet, JonBenet. And Epstein. I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, asking you to please stay plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast.